as much as she does. And I'll kiss you almost as hard as she does. Well, hello, it's Miles with eiKelowna.com, and today we're getting to know Nevaeh Dyson. How are you doing this morning, Nevaeh?
I'm really good. I'm tired. Um, it's early, but I'm good.
Cool. Now, for those of you who don't know, Nevaeh is a young Kelowna-based cover artist and singer-songwriter who has basically taken the music scene by storm over the last 12 months. So we're going to find out a little bit from her today about how she did that and why she does it. And thanks for inviting us in, Nevaeh. Let's start with how it started for you, because it was just last year. And as I recall, you either hadn't even started busking yet at this time last year, or you had just started busking.
Yeah, so I had just. You want me to look at the camera? Or at you?
Yeah, no, look, you're fine where
Okay.
you are right now.
So I had just started busking, and I only did it because my mom had kind of been nagging on me for a while, and I wanted to do it, but it was one of those things that I was just putting off because I'd gotten really, really sick that maybe March or April, so I was in the hospital and I wasn't getting better, so I couldn't go and just work at the old folks home where I used to work. So I figured that way I could make a bit of money. So I took all my savings and I bought a speaker and a guitar that would plug into that speaker because I've had the same one since I was 8. And then I went downtown and I just started busking, and I loved it since the first time I did it.
So did you do a lot of different locations downtown? Were you along the boardwalk? Where were you?
Well, at first I tried going by the sales, but it was just like, I think, a little bit too in my face. So I ended up going, every time I busked, I go on the walkway, the strip right by Cactus. So all the people on like the balcony almost up there at the yacht club and on the balcony just at Cactus could watch me play as well, which meant I could kind of get tips from them after. So.
Very cool. And you really enjoyed it.
I loved it. Yeah, everybody's so nice, and I feel like I met a bunch of people through there that I still know and kind of even just follow around online.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, that ended up lasting a hot minute because you started to get booked right away, which is pretty cool. So what was the first actual paid gig?
I reached out to Vibrant Vines, maybe like at the beginning of August, and they emailed me back like 20 minutes later and said they had a cancellation at the end of the month. So I was so excited because they have like, I got sent a little contract that I got to sign, and I played my first gig. I don't know the date, but the very end of August of last year.
Well, and we were lucky enough to come out and catch you on October the 4th.
Mm.
And that was, I think, the 141st live event we had shot that year. And I remember getting out of the car, closing the door, and hearing this voice. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And walking around the corner and my camera on my hip and
Yeah.
looking up there and seeing you on stage and being taken aback by just the sheer amount of joy that was just emanating from you. It was just super cool to watch and see. And it would end up being one of 4 moments out of 229 shows that we attended last year that we included in our Sell My Clothes, I'm Going to Heaven moment.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it was that cool. It was so much fun seeing you. So that was truly just your second gig at that point in time.
Yeah, no, it was. I was really nervous because I didn't really know a lot of my songs that well. And at Vibrant, you play for 3 hours, which is pretty long. Like, I very rarely play gigs for 3 hours now, so it required a lot of material that I didn't know. So I just remember I was looking at my phone so much the whole time, and I just see this guy with a camera, and I was like, because I did not feel like I knew what was going on at all. And then I was like changing the order of my songs because I was like, well, now there's somebody with a camera, right? So I got to impress them. And then you messaged me for my set list after, and I was like, I don't know what my set list is because I changed it. But it was great. It was nice playing there, and it wasn't super hot either in October, which is really nice.
First gig in end of August, second gig in October, yet you finished the year last year as the 14th busiest musician in Kelowna out of over 200 musicians that were active.
Yeah, I didn't like know until I was told. because for me, I just kind of, when I started, right, people reach out to me more now, so I have a little bit less work to do. But when I started, I just kind of would find all these musicians online and scroll and scroll and scroll through their social media and see where they played, and then I'd reach out to that place.
Mm-hmm.
So after Vibrant, I started playing at Bar and Owl, and that kind of became monthly, and so did Vibrant. And I told everyone I could take any cancellation they had, and I started getting booked for like private events, so like Wine, Women, Wellbeing. That's a big group that I play for every few months, and just a few other places like Shoreline Brewing I played at for a little bit, and a few places I think kind of just started reaching out,
Mm-hmm.
which made my job way easier. And I also think that my kind of, I don't know, the way I play fits fall and Christmas time a lot more than the summer sometimes. So I think I started getting booked for a lot of holiday events by just a few like businesses and companies and house parties and stuff like that. So,
It's pretty cool to get the corporate gigs in your first 6 months of gigging. That doesn't happen for very many people in Nevaeh. So good on you for making that happen.
yeah.
I mean, going into this year, I mean, a year that was very unsure for a lot of people, you managed to build on the momentum from the previous year while also having the lead role in the productions of Mamma Mia and Peter Pan. How do you keep momentum going when you're that busy?
Um, I don't know. Well, it's a school thing for me, so I didn't really feel like I was that busy when I lived in Penticton. It's really dance based more than music based, so I always liked it, and I love theater. I like my job. I think if I had to pick, ultimately I like what I do for my job because I can talk more. In theater, I can't just say what I'm thinking. That's not allowed while I'm performing. But I loved it, and I think kind of what just kept me going through it is since it's blocked in to whatever this day, and this day, I could kind of do it just on those days and then leave it behind and then work. And I love it. And since I had just started playing gigs, it all felt so new and exciting that it feels a little bit more like work now because there's a little bit more of like the specific stuff that I have to do. But I think I just loved all of it, so it wasn't really too crazy. And I don't take hard courses in school, so
What we've seen with you consistently is just that high level of energy and that joy, and you can tell that you actually love being there. And I think that everybody that comes to listen to you hears that. And you end up, I mean, I see people approaching you every time you play after you play, getting business cards or telling you that you remind them of someone. And I've heard you compared to everybody from Taylor Swift to Sarah McLachlan.
yeah,
I've heard someone you describe you as a female Jim Cuddy,
yeah.
which is, I mean, that's Canadian songwriting royalty. So, and yet when I listen to you talk about influences, I don't hear those people mentioned. So I'm curious as to who are your influencers as a performer, and who influences you as a writer.
Um, well, I definitely know for writer, but for performer, it's a bit harder. Because of COVID, have just never really seen a bunch of people live. I think, from what I've heard from other people, Jason Mraz is just like, he makes sure that he has small audiences and he talks to them and he talks about himself, not just about this music.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my stepdad the other day and I'm like, well, if you go to Save-On and you ask the Save-On worker how their day was, they don't say, oh, well, I woke up, flipped over my Save-On sheets, put on my Save-On Foods pin, put on my work gear, and then I went to work. They say, oh, my day was good, this happened, I did my laundry. They don't just talk about their job. And I think that's what I value in a performer, is somebody that doesn't just talk about their job, especially when you see all these people post on social media, but mainly it's for their job. So you don't know who they are. And so I think if a performer values that, that's really important. I think like old clips of David Bowie, I love David Bowie. I like the way he performs. And then I think for songwriting, I always say I like anything that tells a story. So I love the Lumineers. I got really into Jewel a few months ago. I really like Chris Stapleton. I think all those people, not even that it has a beginning, middle, or end, but I can't really focus to a song unless I really know it word for word. If it doesn't tell a story, my focus just isn't there, even if it's a great song. the story is the most important thing for me. So if you go onto the Lumineers albums, each one is a clear story, and I think that's what's so interesting because that also creates a connection with the audience because they can make the story their own, but they have something to go off of. I just think that's when I'm watching a performer, I'm just more interested in what they have to say than what they're playing. And so I hope that that's why people come and see me is because they're also interested in what I have to say because that's who I am. My playing is just, I bet you there's somebody else that sounds just like me, and then there's 500 other people that sound a lot like me, and then there's 1,000 other people that you could mistake as me online. So what I have to say is more important than what I'm playing. So I think the story behind everything is what's interesting to me.
You managed to enter into a talent search just a couple months ago for the Vernon Rib Fest, and that went pretty well for you.
Yeah, it was really fun. I heard about it, and then we came. It was the last day they had it, and so we drove all the way out to Vernon, and I kind of had to pick 3 songs, and so they're flipping coins to see who went first, and so it was like this really hard rock metal band before me, and we were in this like pub, and I was with my mom, and I was like, oh my god, because we didn't fit in at all. So I was like, I just wanted to go home. I didn't feel good, blah, blah, blah. And then I played. I got 3 songs, and it was great. The whole place went quiet. I chose to play, I think it was Blue by Leanne Rimes, a song that I wrote, and then Hallelujah. And everybody that I knew that was with me that was there was, like, telling my mom, they're like, she can't play that. Like, this is not the setting for that. Like, blah, blah, blah. And my mom's like, well, she's not going to listen to me, so I was just going to play what I wanted. So it was great. One of the judges, he was really nice, Greg, was crying.
Aw.
Yeah, it was so fun. Yeah, I loved it. And then I got told a little while after that I won, so I got to play at Ribfest for 2 hours, which was really nice. And then I won a consultation with Jeff Johnson, which I get to do. So
That's very, very cool.
yeah, it was nice.
And we're recording this late in July, and your schedule for the next 3 weeks, as you just updated me now, I thought it was 12 gigs in the next 3 weeks, and it's 13.
Yeah. I don't really know how it happened because I didn't really intend to be playing that much. But I think I booked a bunch of stuff months ago where I forgot about it, and then people asked if I could play soon, and I just said, yeah, sure. And then all of a sudden, for the next 3 weeks, I'm playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm looking forward to it because a few of the things are just like with festivals Kelowna downtown, and it's like 45 minutes. So it's not crazy. It's just, it's really hot, and the heat makes me kind of grumpy. So I feel bad for the people that have to like be around me during my breaks and stuff because I get very warm really easily. But I'm excited for it, and quite a few of it's like private house parties and weddings and stuff like that. So.
Well, and you've managed to strike a really neat balance between, public and private gigs so that you're not overexposing yourself in the market. You're not overplaying the market, and I don't know whether that's just blind luck or sheer brilliance or a combination of both. It's pretty cool to see that.
It's luck, because I don't turn anything down, so I actually didn't know that most of my gigs I was playing coming up are private. I had no idea. I just kind of stick it all in my calendar and say yes or no. Normally I'm free. I think the only time I turn stuff down is like if it's somebody's birthday I know or I'm already booked. So
the last thing I want to bring up, and it's because I see it every time that we've come out to watch you play, if there are, well, number one, women and girls of all ages immediately take to you and the way that you present. But especially the young girls, wherever it's at, they're mesmerized by you. And you always do this thing where you spend time with them and you talk to them and you sometimes you play your princess medley and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
If there's anything that you would say to any of those young girls.
Oh God, I don't know. I like like them, if that doesn't sound weird. After school, there's all these options. Like, if I ever wanted to in the future, there's courses to be like a preschool teacher. I would love to do that. So I think it's just really me talking to them makes my day,
Cool.
right? Me playing for them makes my day and makes my gig special. And then the fact that it helps them out is really just a bonus that they like it, right? Because in a month, are they really going to remember the Princess Medley? Half of them probably won't, but I will. So it's, to be honest, it's more for me. And it makes me look good, if I'm being honest, to other people because it's showing that I can play for different audiences. Like, I've been hired to play privately at somebody's house, and they bring 20 kids. And the kids all sit outside, and I play for the kids. And the kids pick Bon Jovi and Taylor Swift and all this, and I play whatever they ask for. And I like that, right? Because you can tell when a kid honestly likes what you're playing because they choose to listen. And I think when you're not a kid, you're being polite or you're just listening, but a kid is very clear about it. And so I feel like when I play that stuff for them and go up to them and talk to them, it's, I don't know, it's giving them something. When I was little, I was that kid that people would be performing and I'd think I had the right to go up with them and just perform as well. And I think them being nice to me builds up your confidence even if you don't remember it, to do it yourself. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Totally last minute question. If you totally unprepared, I haven't even told you about this. If there's anything that you would like to say to Kelowna, to music fans in general, to your fans, you don't have to come up with anything, but if you have anything.
No, I'd say if I'm like talking about myself, you should come watch me. I think I've talked to you a lot about this. I struggle a lot with posting online. I want to get better at it, but it's one of those things where I just like, it's really hard for me. And I think I have so many people in my life that haven't come see me, which is completely fine. But I'm like, I find my joy playing in person. I'm not that person. I don't like posting online first and being in person second. Being in person is what is the most important to me over anything. I told my mom if I couldn't talk to people during my gigs, I wouldn't do my job. I wouldn't like it. I go and I work back at the old folks home because playing the music isn't what brings me the most joy. It's being able to talk and talk to the people watching me. So I think coming in person and just testing the waters, and then if you don't like it, don't come see me. I mean, I don't mind, but I think it's just people miss live music for so long, and I think a lot of people have been hesitant to go see it or have just gone rarely, and I think you have to try out different artists. If I have an opportunity, especially because so much of it's free, why not just go see it? It's good for your physical health, it's good for your mental health, it's good for your like longevity, like how long you live for. It's like literally good for everything, so there's no harm ever in going to see it.
Well, thank you very much for this time this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's nice and it's not hot out, so.
Very cool.